Hi, this is Chris Cousineau, and this is my communication studies informative speech about watching less TV and the effects that TV has on physical and mental health. So, more likely than not, when I get home from a day of school or a long day of work, I'll put on the TV just as background noise, or if I want to preoccupy myself or distract myself uh, with the TV. I've also noticed that when I go over to friends' houses or family members' houses, that a TV or some other kind of form of media with a screen is being used for a good portion of the time that I'm there or when people are over. So basically, the median amount of TV watched by people in all age groups is anywhere from 3 to 5 hours on a daily basis. Here's a little reference from TVHistory.com, and this is about the history of the television. The first TV was invented in 1922 by a 14-year-old boy named Philo Farnsworth. He had created the first sketch, which led to the creation of one of the most widely used communication devices in the world today as we know it, the television. Nearly 5 years later, in January 7th, 1927, Farnsworth applied for a patent for a television, and this day was the day that the television was born. Farnsworth's invention was a lot similar to other people's invention as far as like creating this communication device, but Farnsworth was the first person to be able to figure out how to have both electronic scanning in the display and the receiving ends of the devices, known as the TV now. So basically the TV is always constantly evolving and being upgraded and getting bigger, so more and more people have them. According to a statistic by Statistica.com, there's around 119.9 million TVs in different households across the US today in 2019. With the direct link of like lower ambitions and health risks and factors of the overconsumption of TV. There's a few research topics that I have here provided by NewHealthAdvisor.com. Watching too much TV can lead to like this mental engagement that you have with the screen and what's being fed through it. It kind of desensitizes you to how you're actually feeling on a physical aspect or emotional or mental aspect, and this can lead to overeating and having a false sense of reality to what's happening around you and what's happening in this fictional world that the TV is feeding you. Watching too much TV can also lead to premature death. This has been sourced that premature death is twice more likely to happen to people who watch 3 or more hours of TV a day. It also can be an overload of different intense emotions and scenarios that can affect people mentally. Too many like frightful scenes, such as like horror movies, different depictions of physical abuse or violence, verbal abuse, and other various forms of abuse can desensitize people to be able to feel and be able to understand different people or have like a willing to understand people, and they're kind of just desensitized to anything that's in the real world. So other effects that it has when it comes to children. Children are kind of like sponges, so they just soak up everything they hear, and they're not really going to act out violently or what they see on TV. They're more prone to act out what they hear on TV. It could also lead to them becoming like an antagonist personality or a bully to their peers at a young age. When it comes to teenagers, they are more likely to act out on the variety of different things that they see on TV that are negative. They are more likely to act out violently, want to try sex, want to try dealing or using drugs because that's what's being shown to them on TV, and they want to appear cool to their peers as well. So when it comes to adults, the age group, more specifically 18 to 25, are more likely to act out violently, and this has been linked to the amount of television being watched by this age group as well. They may be acting out when they're older, but they're more than likely have been influenced since age before they were an adult. Yeah. So I think it's arguable that like TV can be informative and a good thing for like a leisurely activity, but that's all in moderation when it comes to time and like time management. If you're spending over 3 hours or more of TV on average a day, then it could be pretty detrimental to your health. And some different solutions to this are pretty like plain, but I'll go into them a little bit. It's basically just watching less TV, being glued to a screen less than what you currently are. Some ways you can do this are by going out and doing physical activities after work or on the weekends, and if you have children, before, after school, and on the weekends as well, have them signed up to be on a team. Have them signed up for some kind of activity where they're being engaged in the real world and being engaging in the real world as well. Read more books and literature. Put a limit on the amount of time that you're going to watch TV. There's also parental controls on TVs nowadays, and you can put on a limit of how much TV can be watched on a daily basis. Also, if you have kids, don't let them watch TV until you're home, so you can closely monitor what they're watching and what they're taking, like what information they're taking from the shows they're watching. So yeah, basically in the grand scheme of things, it's just important to realize like what we're spending our time on and how we could be potentially spending our time better. Something that I try to do when I'm watching TV, whether it's by myself or with friends, is I try to encourage myself or the people around me as well to do some kind of stretch or like physical activity when the commercial's on or when there's an ad on Hulu or Netflix or whatever. Just little implementations can lead to a better result of like how you spend your time, even if it's when you're watching TV as well. All right, well, thank you.